on a Saturn day. Push it to the limits. Saturn is your limits. I am the High Priestess Phoenix, your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, lightworker, starseed, earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic, witch, yogi, guru, messenger of God, child of God, the first child of God, Lilith, reincarnated in the fleshy flesh. Does that ever sink into you guys? I don't know. I'd be wondering. Like, do you get this? Do you ever get this? Yeah, bro. Reincarnation. Jesus and shit. I also was Isis. I taught this many lifetimes ago. Guess who's back? Back again. You know, I read that 2 days ago. In order to keep up with me, you'll have to, like, literally watch all my videos and, you know, literally be part of my life. I'll make you part of my life for sure. Anyways, going back to, I said it the other day, or it was said in the books, it was like, you know, Jesus. Jesus taught us so many things, but ultimately, he taught us that death was just a new beginning, that there was no such thing as death. And I want to go back to it. It's like only the women believed him. Nobody believed him, bro. Even after everything they had seen, they did not believe. It was the women that believed, and it was the women that inherited that, you know what I mean? That because of that belief system, that's why women are so powerful. Is because we can believe in what you can't. We can see the good in all things. We can believe. Going back to Mary Magdalene. And then you go back to Mother Mary herself. They had to believe, bro. A vision is put in you and you have to believe in it, bro. You have to believe in yourself, and everybody's going to persecute you. And they did. They, you know what I mean? Anybody in history, they tried to, you know, I'm even seeing, the people that have, you know what I mean, the exposure of, you know, aliens and everything. You guys tried to totally, you know, debunk them. You tried to make them out to be lies and shit when they were coming out to tell the truth. I shared a video yesterday. Ugh, damn, this is popping up right now. Shared a video last night that popped up when I was uploading a short, and I guess they had busted these teachers that were fucking with kids on the spectrum. Thank God it wasn't as bad, but every parent that saw that, anybody that saw that, you wanted to choke these bitches out. They're probably named as Ashley and fucking Stephanie and shit. And we had just had a conversation about how these particular souls in this body, in this form, demand royal respect, and how these fucking bitches didn't do such things. You know what I mean? In the sense of, you know, purpose, life's purpose, and what we're meant to teach you and shit like that. You know, it's like, you're going to learn. Everything that's in the dark is going to be brought to the light, is how that looks. You know, going back to it, it's like, but, you know, it comes down to your belief systems. You know, when that video came out, nobody could believe, and they're going to defend their fucking, you know what I mean? But the person that sat there, right, this is where it happens. So it's on the video, and they showed it, they shared it, dude. This person didn't just share it with police, bro. This person had shared it with the media. It's called a whistleblower, bro. When somebody's seeing something and has to say something, it's on their heart, bro. Right? It's on their heart. They have to do right. So this video I shared, it's like they just busted them. It was in Texas and shit. It was these teachers, and they said they arrested their asses. Like, this is big, bro. This is big. And it's just the precedent of it. Because now once the conversation is had, now they start looking at everyone. And it's like, how many of you have been doing this to our children and nobody knows? Now what happens is it's a teacher's aide. A teacher aide had witnessed some shit and had to tell somebody. And now it'll start digging up how many people, now let's go back to fucking R. Kelly and everything. How many people witnessed and didn't say anything? Nobody had the heart to stand up. Nobody said anything. You seen something, but you never said nothing about it. And then later, some brave soul comes in and you want to freaking be like, oh yeah, and this and this and this. Where were you? Where was your voice when this happened? You know what I mean? Where was that, you know, I can make a change and I can stop this and I need to do something to do, you know, I'm seeing something wrong. Okay, forgive them for they knew not what they do, is because you didn't know it was wrong. Or even if you knew it was wrong, you were too afraid to stand up to, you know, those people. And that's it. It's a teacher's assistant. Like, this isn't even my place. This isn't even my job. I probably shouldn't say nothing. These are your people. And then you're just like, you know, who knows how long they were there? Maybe even one day. They saw it all in one day. and couldn't hold it in. God put it on them. That's Rosa Parks, bro. You're going to make a difference. You're going to stop this now. I'm going to use your life as an expression to stop all of this right now. Right? And you have to be brave, and you have to stand up to those that, you know what I mean? Because in essence, what did she do? She was a snitch bitch. But she snitched out, you know what I mean? And that's what it calls for. You're told not to tattletale, not to tell nobody what people are doing and just turn your cheek. But what they're doing is hurting other people. They're fully unaware because well, I mean, that's it. It's like people don't stop unless they're caught. And even then, it's like they'll even tell you, killers want to be caught. They leave traces. They're, you know what I mean? They, you know, ultimately, because where's the fame in not knowing that you're a total butthole? You've gotten away with this for far too long. People have let you get away with this, and that's where they went. I watched the end of it. Like, they went up to the superintendent, and that's where it is. Going back to the Catholic Church, I'm seeing that too. It's like, you know, you have to go against God when you stand up and say something's going on in this church. You have to go against not just your church members. You have to go against what you think are the connections to God, and you know that this is a whole society that you're about to take on. You know what I mean? All the whistleblowers, dude, nobody had, it was in their heart they had to. Some of them, yeah, were seeking absolute revenge, but it was in their heart that they had to tell people the truth. They could not take this to the grave. God would not let them be silenced from their experience. And then you come to find out how many people were silenced through their experience, right? Let's go to the freak-offs of, Diddy. People were very excited to be invited. And then when they get there and they see what's happening, they have to, yes, naturally, it would be shocking if you didn't know what was going on. And nobody knows what's going on until you're part of the going on. Now, what are you going to do? Run and tell somebody when you tried so hard to be part of the cool group, and now you found out what the cool group is doing and they want you to be cool with the group? You know what I mean? Like, you wanted to be part of something and you didn't know what you were going to get part of, and now you cannot turn against it. You're being asked to be the whistleblower. How many women, dude? They realized in that moment what he wants, and they realized real quick all the women had to do this before him, because he makes it very clear. If this is what you want, I've done it for everyone else. This is what it's going to cost. And they all just walked away with this understanding, I got to do this. I will put down my pride. I will put down everything for the success of my future. And then one said, I can't do it. I just can't. She had nothing to lose, and that's it. It's like, I can't be, it's nothing against you women, dude. God won't let me. You know what I mean? And then it's like, fuck, forgive them, because, that's it. They thought that was the way. It's a belief system. They had, in that quick moment, bro, in a quick moment, whether you're at a Diddy party and you literally just walk in the room, you're like, oh, fuck, what have I walked into? That's it. How strong is your fear? You're fearful, but are you fearful enough to submit, or are you fearful enough to run and stand up? It's just all fear, bro. And that's it. Some people walked out, but they still didn't say shit. Like, I'm not turning. No, I'm not. All of those people that was fucking in there are going to come after me. Everybody's going to. I know what's going on here now. Oh my God, bro. All those parties, no, bro, I'm not getting in this. And that's it. It's like, you're too scared. But somebody had to fucking, you know what I mean? Fuck. Now everybody's scared, but it's not that everybody's guilty. Everybody needs to admit the fucking, you know what I mean? That we thought it was cool. And that goes back to, I was talking to the spirits this morning. I was like, you fucking assholes. That's what they said to me yesterday. I was like, you guys wasted your lives with all this power. You did drugs. You fucked it. You didn't care about. I lost my connection as soon as I said the spirit world, because I literally kind of, tapped into it again. I was looking at them and I'm like, you guys, you fucked off your fucking lives. And Jimi Hendrix is like, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And everybody just kind of smiled. And it's like, they were brought into that. Justin Bieber didn't know, bro. He's like, this is what you guys do. You normalize it. You know what I mean? Even down to my childhood and everybody's. It's like, we don't know something's wrong until somebody tells us something's wrong. And now we feel guilty and ashamed because we were, part of this game. But we didn't even know that we didn't know, forgive us, for we did not know that this was wrong. After the first time, they knew what was going on. But nobody knew until they knew. And then they had a choice to be part of the cool crew You know what I mean? And that's really what was going on in Club 50. Michael Jackson was up and that was it. Apologies. She's like, do you have the headphones? I was like, no, they're on the charger. I just got back from Walmart. I have all your shit. Do not make any hostile, you know what I mean? Put down the candy and let your mom go. In essence, dude, she's bullied by a fucking 14-year-old. I'm not. I'm submissive because of the fact that, you know, sometime I was 14 and, nobody heard me and, it was a fight. I don't know. I just don't fight with her. She's got no fights. I don't pick fights with me. Fucking Joan of Arc. I'll pull my fucking sword out too. Anyways, going back to it, it's hard to be that. Now, I just posted something. It's like, embracing the journey. Right? Russ, poor Russ. I love you, Russ. I was saying that he was up. Like, you only slept like 5 hours. You didn't really sleep. You just tossing and turning. You're all about the journey. It's like, all right, cool. But the real journey, bro, how this happens is it calls for action. Your heart calls you to places. You're pulled. You'll watch all of my videos in the beginning. It's like, I'm being pulled. I'm being pulled. What is it? Your heart is calling you to experience something. I didn't understand that fully in the beginning. I thought it was something outside of me that was pulling the inside of me. But it was my inside pulling me to the outside world. Right? I hear you. All the birds are coming. Fuck. They really are. Oh, God. There's a bunch of little guys underneath my car, too. I asked Amelia, too. She's like, Mom, I had to take the headphones off yesterday. I was like, do you think people notice the animals all over me like this? So, I don't know, Mom. But they won't shut up. I was like, hold on, I'll burn something. Super funny. There's like 5, 6 of them. I'm like, oh, fuck. All right, guys. All right. Anyways, they just come to me. It's really funny. It's like Evan Almighty, bro. I just sit there and shit just, like, it's so funny, bro. It's real. And that's it. It's like, that's my frequency. I'm calling in shit. But going back to it, the journey is like, you follow your heart. And it's literally taking you to somewhere you have never been before. You are scared. You don't know what you're going into. You don't know what you're going to find. You just know that you've got to do this. And that's it. It's like sometimes it's a conversation. They want you to talk to someone you never talked to before. They want you to get in your car and get past your town and go to a store you've never been before. They want you to do what you've never done before. That's the journey, is going beyond your limits. And there's everything that's stopping you is your own belief system. Oh, no, I shouldn't go to that side of town because there was this one time at band camp I saw this shit. And that's your whole programming, is fighting your brain and what it thinks it's seen, what it thinks is out there, and going to places you've never been. So as much as I'm encouraging him to take the journey, but the journey is into the absolute unknown. Every time your heart tells you to do some shit you never did before, you have to be like, okay, I'm going in. Breathe, breathe. I don't know what's out there. And that's what I've done for like 2 years. And that's what I always do. It's like, I don't know. I got to go. I got the feel. So today I've got feelings. Naturally I have my programming. I am super duper going to the fucking thrift stores. I'm super duper doing all the stuff I love to do on a Saturday. But at the same time, it'll push me to my limits where I'll also have to, have a conversation or see, that's what it's all about, is having an adventure, doing something you've never done before and seeing how it feels. And your body, your heart is always calling you to be brave, and your mind is always telling you to be logical and hold the fuck on and don't be doing such impulsive shit, and don't be that guy. Now, that adventure, and that's what I try to teach you, is to trust that the universe is actually encouraging you to do such things, and it is literally God inside of you calling you, and God outside of you is going to protect you as you take this journey. So in the beginning of my journey, it's funny because I was sitting where this all started was I posted some shit to Russ about taking the journey, and then I had this flashback of, I'm talking to Bobby. I just got back into town. I'm finally facing it. God has been trying to get me to talk to him for weeks. I've been in town for weeks, but I'm not talking to him. I'm avoiding my heart's calling to him. But even though my heart is taking me to him, like literally, I'm working for a temp agency that's right by his house. I'm like literally always around where, you know what I mean? Memories of him. And I'm just like, no, no, and 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 no. Finally give in and shit. Start talking to him. And he's like, what are you doing today or something? I was like, well, I'm packing up. I'm getting ready to check into a hotel. And he's like, why? Because it's the middle of the week. And I'm like, well, as much as I love to stay outside, it's necessary sometimes. And he's like, are you homeless? And it's like, it was the biggest, unbelievable ego death. Because I haven't really put it on at this point. I'm just like following the adventure. It's been 2 years that I've actually been homeless, and I haven't actually really wore it. You know what I mean? Because I'm still looking for home, and I've made everywhere home. So I'm like, yo, shit. At this moment, I'm living in my car, and he asked me if I'm homeless, and I'm like, reality sinks in real hard. Good morning. Buenos dias. And I'm like, oh Lord, I just dropped to 0, and I have to wear my skin, and I'm like, he doesn't know I'm homeless. Not only does he not know, but I have to put it on to explain it to him. I'm like, well, I'm nomad, but yes. And so I want to bring all this together. It was like, oh God, he's going to never, if you tell him the truth, but I can't lie. What am I going to say? I'm like, yeah, fuck. And right there, it's your fear. He's like, oh God, you're going to lose. Oh God, he's never going to talk to you. He is going, oh God, he's going to judge you so bad, bro. He's going to judge you so bad, bro. He's never going to talk to you. Oh God, is what's going on in my head. And it's real, bro. And that's real, bro. That's real. At 1701, yeah, that was real. And I'm like, yeah. And I have to work through this. And I'm scared that he's not going to talk to me when he realizes I am homeless. Like, because he's like, you don't stay in conversation. Bro, that was like 2 years ago. Last time I saw you, bro. Have you not been paying attention? I've been living like 8 states and all kinds of shit. Are you serious right now? I don't know how to explain it, but I can't really. I'm just like, wearing the shame of it. Now, I had told you yesterday, it's like, the beginning stages are lost. That's Baba Yaga. You lose yourself and everything, but you learn how to survive again. And, that's what it is. It's like you lose your home only to learn to make Earth, every part of the world, your home. That's where it is. It's like, I've had many homes since I left that home. Everywhere is my home. I can make anywhere my home. That's the point of what I've learned in this. By being homeless, I've made everywhere my home, and anywhere can be my home. Is what that journey was. But I had to lose my home to gain a home in everywhere. And that's what the journey was. You'll see it. It's like everywhere I lived, I had a home, and I made home. And it was my home. But it wasn't forever homes. You know what I mean? And that's where I got to the place. It's like when I finally released home and was willing to make Earth my home. And that was, in the trailer. I'll go wherever you want, and I'll make anywhere my home. When I finally surrendered to it, right? Then they granted me a home. And that's it. It's like, this is home. And that's what I say. I'm home. Everywhere's home. Wherever I go is home. I can make home anywhere. But I didn't learn that until after I gave up my home. It's like my family. I've made family everywhere I go. Friends, I make friends everywhere I go. I just have to leave them behind. I have to keep going. That was the second thing I posted this morning. I could hear Ray. We used to wake up super early, and I would be the first thing up, and he'd be the first thing up. He didn't have a friend for a long time. He lived out on those streets for, like he said, like 5 years. He knows everyone. But I pulled up on him, and I became his for real friend. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. You know what I mean? He had someone to call. We had someone to smoke with. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Walk the dogs, everything. And then it's just one day I'm gone. And so this morning he's like, you're just not going to talk to me anymore? It's like, it's not you. I mean, yeah, you helped this go a little easier, because obviously I wasn't supposed to, God had already told me a week before that this is what I had to do. And that was the hardest part, because when I woke up, I just wanted attachments. I wanted friends. I wanted family. I wanted forever people. And they're people that I'll know forever, and I'll carry forever, and will forever know me. But our friendships last forever, but I don't stay forever still. And truthfully, I know where to find them all. They're all exactly where I left them, down to Chris. If I ever want to find Chris, just drive down fucking Watts. He's gonna be right there at Alameda in front of the fucking King Super, somewhere over there. And that's exactly what happened when I moved in with him. This is a true story. My kid said, he said, I'm gonna go fly a sign. My daughter said, I thought that meant he was one of those people that held up one of those business signs. He said it real clearly. He's like, can you give me a ride to go fly a sign so I can make some money? It's the first day. And I was like, yeah. And I take him over to, I know what he means. And I take him over to Wells Fargo. And he gets out right there. And he makes like a bunch of money real quick. He's like, dude, you're like a Lucky Charm. And I start explaining to him, you know, energy and stuff like that. But that's where he be. And that's where it is. And it's like, you know, I know where to find Mr. Plum. I know where to find all the people that I've had to leave behind because they're right where I left them. And that's why I had to leave them. Because they weren't going anywhere. Fucking Hana. I know where Hana is if I wanted to find her. They're all right where I left them. But that's the point, is you got to keep going. It's not like you really lose anyone. You just got to keep going. And anywhere you go, it's not that far from where you've come. You know, going back to, I'm sitting at Lake Mead. That video is really intense. That was a real intense video for me. I need to go find it and replay it. I need to rewatch it. A lot happened there at that moment under that full moon. You know, and it was like after such a long journey, I just couldn't find my way back home. It seemed like it was impossible. I'm only a couple hours away, bro. It's just, I make it possible the very next day. But in my mind's eye, from this entire journey where I've gone so far from reality, I'm so far off of the edge of the earth where I can't even find a way back because all I can see is what I've been through. I can only see the way that I got here. I can't see a way forward. And it's impossible. I'm crying. It's like, all I want to do is go back to where I came from. That's the only place where I felt comfortable. But now I'm so far away from it. And God said, just go back. And he's like, and I'm like, how am I going to go back now, God? I'm going to end up homeless in my car in the winter. I knew what was going to happen. And he gave me the strength to go, even with the knowing that this was what was going to happen. And it happened. But it wasn't as bad as I thought. I made friends, and I didn't stay freezing in my car. We learned how to car camp, which is a whole trendy thing, and we were fucking professionals. I can teach families to be brave, and you know what I mean? Like right now, my car feels empty. I still need to clean it. That's what I want to do today. But it's like, it's a car now. Like, there's no bed in the back seat, bro. That shit was gnarly, bro. I could crawl in all the time, comfy bed. We could black this shit out, put on TV, put on movies. We were in a whole zone, bro. We left the Matrix, bro. We would close this thing up and we were never, you know what I mean? Like, we weren't even part of your world. And God showed me how to make, you know, make something beautiful out of nothing. Make the worst situation the best situation. And it was a season, the whole winter. But again, it wasn't. So, you know, as he called me, that was like one of the first times I caught that first weather voucher. I ended up staying half the season in those hotels. And now as spring comes, he puts me in a new home. But only for a short period of time because he's got a plan for a new home. Everywhere will be home. Because I was made of the earth, and the earth is my home. I've made every part of the universe my home but Earth. And that's the battle, is to make Earth my home again, where I first came from, is Lilith. You know, I can leave Earth and go to all my other homes, but this was the home that I never stayed home. That's it too. It's like, you don't spend all your time in heaven. No, I don't want to go home. But all of it is home. It's like, oh, Lilith's home. She's home. And it's like, this is my home, but I never made it my home. God kept putting me in the ground. Listen to the stories. He kept putting me here. But I kept, you know what I mean? Mastering the freaking experience and evolving past it. You know what I mean? Always playing the goddess. It's like, no, I'm not staying here. I know I don't have to stay here. And now it's like, you know, I have a free will choice. All right, I'm going to make this my home. I'm gonna lay with some dude and have some more kids and be this happy bitch you want me to do, all of this shit. But don't ever think that I don't know my freedoms. And I fully exert my freedoms with my submission to this bullshit. And, the part of it is, it was a couple parts. It's like, you're going to be stripped of everything that gives you pride and identity. And you're going to have to look at the people that you love and humble yourself to ask them to accept you as such. Jesus was no more than a poor man of the streets. And he asked you to accept and love him and the God he served. And he could make your life abundant. He was a stranger. And they heard his voice, and they heard the words that came out of his mouth, and they loved him. And they believed in what he said, and it changed their lives. And he was forever grateful for just, his presence of just spreading that word. There's power in the word is what they say. In the name of Jesus is what we say. His life was an expression of God's words and how powerful they are and how powerful your words are. And, having taken this huge journey and, being placed back in the ground, and that's where it really is. It's like, it's a journey into the unknown where you just really don't know what's going to happen, but it's all about trust and faith and being driven by that internal feeling in your heart to the unknown, to do stuff and say stuff like, oh God, there's so many times I've said some shit or done some shit like, oh my God, did you see that? Oh God, you made me do that. Oh, and then there's Mr. Rogers. Did you guys see that in my shorts? I am so proud of you. You are learning such great lessons. It said when your witchy ancestors. I'm like, dude, he comes to me all the time. He was here the other day tying my shoes with me on his birthday. This is Aries season, and he is telling me that I've learned some great lessons. Do you guys know Mr. Rogers? He lives on, bro, for sure. And that's that soft voice. It's like, you are learning. I know. Yeah, that was great. It was great. Did you see that? That's what makes my life so fun and exciting, is because I'm following this exciting, I'm crying and screaming and I'm scared about it, but I do it. You'll hear it in every video. Let me tell you what God told me to do. Let me tell you what God's doing in my life. Let me tell you, God is fucking with me. It's inside of me. You know what I mean? I called myself, like my heart was like, it sends out a sonar and it's like, we're going into this. That goes back to it. The very first awakening, I send it out, dude. I'm sitting there. I tell in the first video, I'm sitting at Mother Cabrini's shrine. I just answered my heart's calling to Tree. Who's Tree? Oh, Lord. It's a whole beginning story. It's the first calling of my heart. No, the first one was Bobby. Tree had to help me with Bobby, and then my heart opened up to Tree, and it said, oh, it just kept opening up, and you have to follow these callings. Just follow them. I know this is going to end bad. I know. You don't know. Just do it. Be brave and do these things. Say these things. Do things you never did before. Going back to it, it's like I go into the unknown. Literally. Remember? All the time. God says we're going to Arizona. What's in Arizona? I've never been to Arizona. I don't know. And then I'm like, where did you get that? Arizona iced tea? Synchronicity? You're like, and then Bobby's like, I don't know what voice in your head. It's God, bro. He's calling me to you. And I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm scared. But he tells me that this is going to be good for me. And it might not, and I think it's going to end bad, but it's going to be good. Like, why am I bothering you, God? I didn't want to. He's telling me to be brave and that this is going to be okay. And that's it, too. It's like, I had to show up at Mr. Plum's house. I'm following God. I'm not getting a job. I'm not getting a house. I'm not putting my kids in school. God told me to just sit here and wait. And he's going to tell me what to do next. You know what I mean? He told me in Wisconsin, I knew she was going to kick me out. He told me, tell her you're not going on this birthday party. God, if I do that, she's going to kick me out. Yes, she is. I don't know what am I going to do, God? You're going to go back to Colorado. God, there's no God, do it. Okay, God. And I tell her no. And she's mean to me and my family, and she kicks us out exactly like he said. exactly like I saw. And I'm there. All right, guys, we're going to San Diego. In Las Vegas, my daughter says, no, you're not. Oh, God. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing, God? Just keep going. Just keep swimming. Okay. And then he opens the door to my sister's in the bay. And it was all painful living all those memories, bro. It was just so painful. So painful. A fucking vacation of pain. I mean, it really was. If you watch the videos, that was a painful journey for me, guys. It really was. He opened this door to hell. Then I come out and I'm like, all I know is I got to go back to Colorado. I have no home. I have nothing. I'm trying to complete a plan. And he's telling me, no, no. Like it was the worst journey of driving through Utah. I just know I'm going to Colorado, to the unknown. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm trying to create a plan. My whole spirit is trying to destroy this plan. I'm having the worst time of my life just driving into the unknown, which is technically home. And I'm just trying to figure out how to make it when I get home. And my spirit won't. And then when I finally give up, there's Chris, and he gives me a home for like 8 months, which is literally a doorway to hell and healing. So I can wake up all these memories and shit. Fuck. Then after that, he gives me $2,000 and puts me in a hotel, which is another hell. I'm learning the hardest fucking lessons, bro, everywhere I go. Then I'm like, I don't know what to do. He's like, go back to Mr. Plum's. My car can't make it. I can't face Mr. Plum. I can't do this again. All right, I go back down there. It's home. I get a job, put the kids in, learn the hardest lessons, bro. How to be a fucking witch, how to be a priest, all this shit. They won't accept me, God. You're going back home. God, there's no home. You're going to go camping in the woods. Oh my God. All right, God. Guys, we're going camping in the woods. Like God said. I've never been camping, God. The unknown. It's so unknown. You don't know. But he's telling you. And I was so scared. And then you look back and here's Mr. Rogers. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of me. How the fuck did I do that? And all I could see is me scared the whole time. But I'm here. I'm like right back here. Right back. How many times was I right back where I started? Kept coming home. Listen to it. He'd send me out and bring me home. Send me out, bring me home. Send me out, bring me home. This is home. But everywhere else is home too. It's like I kept going further and further away from what I thought. You know? He sent me to fucking Nevada. Fucking Las Vegas. Bitch, you're gonna be the biggest thing in Las Vegas. Okay, God. It didn't work, God. It worked. It didn't work, God. It worked. Look at what you did. Look at how brave you are. It was hard, you guys. It's hard to, down to these Venezuelans. They didn't know what they were getting into when they got here. And they can only pray to God to get, you know what I mean? To provide for them a new home as he moves them around, Everyone, got down to your ancestors, bro. He called them to America, the unknown. And they had to follow it, and only the brave, Jack. I got here on a ticket. A one-way ticket. And that last bit, that boat ride was the best ride of his life. And yeah, he died on that boat, but he didn't have any life. He experienced love and everything. He changed the world in that little time. It's like it all led up to that last little bit of his ride. But he took the ride of his life. And that's really what it was, God called them to their own death. And it is. Death is just a transformation and a rebirth because, as soon as they take their last breath, it's a new beginning. And I was watching the end of Doctor Strange last night, and she's like, and that's where it is. It's like, I've seen this moment. It all comes to the end. Infinite, endless, endless fucking realities. But it all comes to this. And it's like, even though I'm going to disappear from here, my next adventure begins. I'll never cease to exist. So, again, there's a lot to be said, but the journey of life is a journey. And we do have a limited amount of time to experience such beautiful things, and that's just our heart's calling to adventure, to love. You know, I was trying to explain it. The only bad thing about my love for all these people is not being able to really experience it. It's limited to what I can feel in my body. Without another person to love, I don't know what the full experience of love is. That's the only bad part, is I'm limited, you know? But if I hadn't woke up and been in love with Bobby, I would have never known what it felt like to love. And that goes back to, the love I have for these men. The love I have for Ali. It's a love that I don't have for all of them. It's this, they all weaken me in all different areas, but it's like, it's the most beautiful feeling. Feelings I never felt before in this lifetime. And all those fears and all of that, these are all feelings. And, there's sad feelings, but when you're used to sad feelings, it's so, when that's all you felt. But the feeling of, excitement and the real feeling of life, pushing your limits and going to the edge, really going into the unknown, that's what we're really here for. And it's so fucking scary. And I told you just right there, that's just a summary. But again, I've been doing this every day. I've documented. Sometimes, bro, little things. As soon as I do one thing, they want me to come and tell you all that I've experienced. And that's what it is. It's the thing is what it's really beautiful is, it's a testimony to how do you wake up, but in the end, it's a story of what it felt like to be a soul as a human. To be a soul having a human experience. So, when we come back, that's what it always is. It's like, what was it like to be human? I told my story here and there and everywhere. My story's told forever. I can tell you what it was like to be human and how many times I was and all the things I learned and all the things and you listen to all the stories of me as the goddess. I didn't experience love. I did everything else but love. Did all the things, and that was the one thing I didn't do. I was here just to love, to be an expression of love. Lilith is love. And I wanted to do so much more than just love this man and have God's children. I didn't want, I wanted to be more than just a child of God. I wanted to rule the world. And I did over and over again, only to come back and finally do what he made me here to do. But in doing that, in ruling the world, I did. I loved those. And that's why I'm here, is to love those that believe they're unloved, to love you back to God. You'll have to take your own journey, and your journey is following your heart. And it's going to take you, and that's why I'm here too, is to take you through the bad feelings. We got to go through the hard feelings to get to the good ones. And that's what happened. I woke up, and I'm filled with so much, bro. I don't know what's going on. And let me tell you what happened, continuing last night's video. The doctor tells me, I'm crying and I'm running out the door, and he says, look up internal parts therapy. I look up the video and I do the mapping. And I sit there in meditation. I'm trying to find what's going on inside of me. So now I'm being taught, I'm going through my subconscious, my pain to find a feeling. And what it is Bobby. I'm going crazy about Bobby. Right? What happened is he called me, or we're talking through DMs. And that's where I wake up. And he's like, I'd like to see you. And all of this is going on in me. I want to, but I can't. And all of me is going crazy that I really want to, but I can't. So then, I have this thing where like my heart is aching. I think that I'm having heart attacks. It ends up, it's panic attacks. So I'm trying to focus on my heart. I close my eyes and I start focusing on my breathing and I start focusing on my heart. And I see this memory. And the memory is, I'm at work and I'm just looking at myself. This is my astral memory, right? So I'm looking at myself I can see a memory of myself when I was, that I'm here and I'm just at work and I'm filled with love. I can just see myself. And if there was a way to describe it, there's like hearts coming out from me. I'm like, what am I so in love with? And I turn my head in the astral realm to see what I'm looking at. And it's him approaching. And I can feel, as I see this, now I'm pulled out of the astral into my body. And I can feel what I'm looking at. I can feel, we'll say Lisa for right now. I can feel Lisa's love for Bobby. And I am crying, and I have never felt so good in my life. I'm like literally hugging myself in this meditation and crying. And it is the most beautiful thing. I have never felt this in my life. And then I open my eyes and I'm like, oh my God, you were in love with him. And without any hesitation, I send him a message and I tell him what I've seen. I said, I was in love with you. And I think my heartbreak is why I don't remember you. I'm going to figure this out. And I wanted to figure it out, but there was so much else of my life I didn't understand either. And I'm trying to figure out my other life, but my heart still is calling. I still you know what I mean? Now I'm like, I'm in love with him. I want to talk to him. It's waking up. It's not that I was, it's I am is happening. But my mind is like trying, my personalities are blocking this out because ultimately, why don't I know this? Because I got hurt and I don't want to remember him. So now he's here and my personality is doing everything to push him away and get this memory. Its self mechanisms that I've put into play are trying everything. And so my personalities are literally attacking him, telling him that, to stay away from me and that he's a piece of shit and that he's a fuckboy and that he's married and we shouldn't be talking and da-da-da-da-da-da. But yet there's pieces of me that are like, I like so love you and I wish I could see you. Talk about mixed signals, bro. It was a fucking battle. But again, I told him I was suffering from, personality disorders. But it was happening. I wasn't suffering. It was happening. I was he was experiencing the suffering of my personality disorders. Everybody was. It was happening in my music. It was happening everywhere. They were coming out everywhere where I was trying to control them. And so I'm just trying. Logically, I know he's married and I have no business and I should not do this, bro. Don't fucking do this. Don't fucking do this. Don't do this, dude. Don't do this. Don't do this. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. 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 And it literally drives me crazy. And then I meet Tree and Tree's like, you just got to go with the emotions. And then I accept it. And I like, okay. I just have to, and I send him the message, I just have to accept this is how I feel about you. I don't have to have you love me back, but if I don't accept that this is how I feel and be honest about my feelings towards you and work through them, it's driving me crazy. It's making everything worse. I really do feel I feel this way about you and I'm trying everything to turn it off because I know it's wrong. And he sends me a message and he says like, I'm denying it too or some shit like that. So then in my head, it's like, it's just equally as difficult. But I don't know what he's denying. I'm denying love. I don't know what he's denying. If it's lust, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, bro. And that's where it is. It's like, how long are you going to... Every time he comes up, I'm going to deny it because I know it's wrong. I know what I'm doing is wrong, but my heart is telling me to do it because I love him. And it's the same thing with Russ. Don't do this, dude. It's gonna embarrass you. Don't do this. This is gonna make you look really bad, bro. Don't do this. Don't show him love. Don't love them. Don't love them. Don't love them. Don't love them. And then I can't not love you because I really, really do love you. And it's good for me to love you. It's just, like I said, it's hard. And that's going to be the rest of your experience. It's like, don't do this. Don't lose everything. Don't burn this bridge. Don't do this. I know this looks really bad, but I got to do what my heart says. And that's the journey. It's going to be towards people. It's going to be towards, businesses and shit. It's like, fuck, going back about walking. They finally gave me a job. I needed a job. And I was so proud of myself to have a job. And then the next day they're like, you're not going. I can't do this. I need this. I need this in my life. Nope. And I cried. I had Muhammad Ali, Tupac, and fucking Kobe and me in the car with me as I'm trying to go to work, and they're trying to stop me. They're trying to stop me from myself, which is just, you know, my programming. They're trying to, you don't need to work. God will take care of you. And it was a real hard battle, you know what I mean? A lot of this we think we need, but the heart tells you what it really needs, and it really gets in, they really stop you. They try to stop you. They try to show you, they try to walk you through, to your greatness, but your greatness is your destruction. It's your demise. Again, if I wouldn't have lost my house, I wouldn't have learned how to find true security. If I wouldn't have given up chasing money, I would have never learned that money chases me. There's so many things. If I wouldn't have learned just to love people, I wouldn't have never received love back. That's it. When I'm brave enough to go after him, he'll allow me to love him. I kept telling him I didn't want to, but when I finally told him I did, then he let me. But that's what it is we both know it's wrong. So then we have to go through the wrong programming again. That was wrong. That was wrong. I couldn't see the wrong in it because it felt right. Not this time. Not after everything I've been through. You're not going to make me feel wrong about this. I know it looks wrong, but it felt right, and I finally did what was right, and I'm not going to let anyone make me feel like it's wrong. It's not wrong to love you. What makes it wrong is that you won't do what it takes to let it be real. Let it be more than temporary. I didn't, I don't know. And that's the journey, is you don't know. You don't know. And going back to you, Russ, if you're going to fucking do everything you know that you're going to do, and you've got everything, all fucking figured out, then you're not taking the journey into the unknown. Every day, God is calling you to do some shit you never did before, Russ. That's the journey. Do that instead of what you think you need to do. And, and then I'm seeing Lewis. You could hear him on the radio. Big deal. I won. It means nothing. Do you hear? There's nothing. It's never going to taste as good as it did before, bro. It's never going to taste as good as it did before. I'm sorry. Welcome to the awakening. I wish you could just put me back in my chair. No, because when you realize how unhappy you were in that chair, you don't want to go back to, you know what I mean? The fucking Stephen Hawking's life of just working through, doing whatever your brain told you. Yeah, you got to fight your brain, bro, and that's the battle of good and evil. Your brain is all wicked, bro. It's all limiting. It tells you you're nothing and that nobody loves you and you can't do all these things and this and that. But your heart knows that's not true, and your heart's trying to show you how strong you are and how to find love in yourself and how to, how to do all great things. Your mind's trying to teach you to chase greatness. Your heart's trying to teach you that you are great by taking adventures. And again, my life has been one hell of an adventure, and the adventure, it's a marathon. Just when you think that you got something figured out, it's time to go and figure out, learn something new. You're learning such great lessons. Thanks, Mr. Rogers. Roger that. Roger. The Holy Spirit and all. I gotta go. I've got food literally in my car that's been sitting here for an hour and a half-ish. I gotta go. Hey, I love you. I don't know about readings. I'm gonna clean my car and adventure and do all the fun shit I like to do. I'm going to the thrift store and stuff. What? I'm about to pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I love that shit. Don't you love that shit? I love it. All right, later, haters.